Hi, I'm Bobby Burkett. Let's go learn about public works together. Hey, Cal, you're in charge of all these holding ponds, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You want to explain to me the purpose of a holding pond?
A holding pond is part of a stormwater system that collects water. There's two types of holding ponds. There's a detention holding pond, which only has water in it when it rains, and there's retention holding pond, which holds water most of the time.
I was going to ask you the difference between some of them, what we call dry ponds, some of them wet ponds. So that answers right there. And I noticed we got rock piled down here off that drain. What's the purpose of that?
Dissipates the water coming in the pond to keep it from blowing out holes in the pond.
Kind of slows the velocity down?
Yes, sir.
And how often do we try to maintain the...
We try annually to cut these ponds, just on the basis that we can see the functionality of the ponds and the overall looks of them.
Yeah. Roughly how many ponds did y'all do maintenance on last year?
About 268, I think,
and we got
last year.
We probably got twice that many or
yes,
more
sir.
that the county owns. I'm not talking privately owned.
That's
this
right.
is what county owns. Okay.
And easements too. I mean, we have that on top of the holding ponds.
Yeah.
Drainage easements.
Right. We usually have one of these at each subdivision. All the newer
At least one, if not six.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Depending on the size of the subdivision and the pocket of the ground.
Yes, sir. And a lot of these are closed basin, which they don't have anywhere for to spill off once they build up the system that flows into a branch or a creek. If we can keep the grass on it, we can keep the erosion down and keep the pond from silting back in where we don't have to dig the bottoms out of the pond.
About the fences over here, I noticed some ponds have fences, some ponds don't.
The reason is the slope on the pond, the depth of the pond, and how if it contains water or not.
Yeah, okay.
Just for safety purposes.
Right. Does this pond normally hold water all the time?
Yes, it does. It's a wet pond.
So this is a wet pond. A lot of times we see ponds that's got trees in them.
And we try to remove them out, especially when they block the spillways, keep water moving.
We've had this happen a few times, people cutting fences and making party places out of the holding ponds. How often we have that happen?
Probably once a month at least. We're repairing fences.
Yeah. And that's a big no-no. We have no trespassing here for a reason.
That's right.
So we want people to understand the hazards and dangers of getting in it. Cut that fence open, then you got a chance for a child getting here and getting.
And we run into that very often. Youngins playing in the ponds or people driving vehicles in them.
Yeah, exactly. And what happens when they drive a vehicle in here?
And they disturb the slopes. Starts to wash out, and then we hard to maintain.
All right, the sand chimneys. We've talked about that.
It's an excavated hole that you dig through all the chalk and clay and get all the way down to the sand, and then when we backfill it with sand, it lets the water run all the way through those layers straight down to the sand.
What do you do when a sand chimney gets stopped up?
You have to remove the silt over the top of the sand chimney and add more sand to the top of it, and that keeps the water going into the ground.
How deep some of these sand chimneys, roughly?
30 feet. Depends. We dig through all the hard clay surface all the way down till we hit sand, then backfill them all the way back up.
Do we have a holding pond that's actually blown out?
Very rarely.
Very rarely. And
major storms, or we have some kind of issue with a washout that's caused it, or a bad pipe causes the pond to blow out.
And that's usually due to us maintaining them like we should.
That's
right. Okay.
We find them when we do the pond cut, we find washes and we go ahead and fix them to keep that from happening. The mosquito control puts tablets in, and they use gambusies a lot of times to put in these wet ponds to keep which are little fish that eat some mosquito larvae.
So this is not a mosquito breeding place
That's
like a lot of people think they are.
Yeah.
I know I had a holding pond behind my house. I never had a mosquito problem.
No, you won't. Not in most part. Not in these ponds. The easements, only ones we operate on are ones that are deeded to the county or are platted easements. We don't work on private drainage easements.
Yeah, legally we can't go on private.
That's right.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think, oh, I got a ditch behind my house, and nothing belongs to us.
If it don't belong to us, we cannot help you on it.
Exactly.
Sadly.
Right.
Statutes don't allow that.
Yes,
so I want people to understand that. Thank you for the job you're doing, and carry on.